All right, how's everybody doing? I'll get the hat on straight. These hats are they're a little bit bigger. They're bigger than I'm used to. I'm used to the nice petite frame here, and now I'm big boned. How the hell's everybody doing? What do we got? What do we got already? We got trade announcements. We've officially traded for Sherratt and Petrie. We only had to give up Forsling. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Sure. Uh, Let me know when this Swayman trade. Let me know when this Swayman trade goes down. How's everybody doing? So we got a game tonight. Apparently, it's going to be mostly the minor league guys and whatnot. So um, I did not get a chance to watch the Panthers thing on ESPN Plus last night. Um, I'm going to try to watch that this weekend with Kyle. Kyle's sleep schedule has been all screwy. Like I usually get up between 4 and 5, and like the last couple days, he's actually waking me up at like 4:10 because that's when he's closing his door and going to bed. So I gotta get him straightened out. So I think we're gonna try to watch that this weekend. Hey, Metal, how you doing? Is that JC? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. So, in terms of tonight's game, I don't expect much in the way of our starters or anything like that. Um, we're getting we're getting closer to seeing now. From what I read, from what George said this morning, and obviously I'm not down there. I don't, I'm not talking to anybody. I don't have any inside information the way he does, so I can only assume that what he's saying, the way that he worded it is if Sam Miskevich is healthy, he's going to be on that third line opening day. Um, it's very interesting if that's the way it goes down. I mean, I know I said I kind of felt like it was his job to lose, but still with the no contact jersey, I don't know what happened to him unless unless it was something where Maurice wanted him to just heal up for the whole camp and say, "Don't worry, kid. When you're ready, it's your job." You know what I mean? It's starting to sound like that's the case there. So, um, the way that it's laying out, then we just don't know who's going to be at 4C because Giles may or may not get that spot. Nosek isn't going to be ready. Apparently, Greer is it Greer or Nosek? Not Boquist. Boquist can center a line. So that fourth line is going to be in flux a little bit. Hey, Pacharo, the hat. No, yes and no. I got two hats. It was $54, but they were like 40% off. Eyes had reminded me to buy a hat. And like later on that day, I got an email from Fanatics and they were like, hey, like we're having a flash sale and like the hats were like 40% off. So I got myself one, obviously, and I got Kyle one. I'm not thrilled about it, but I wanted to have a championship hat. I wanted to have a Stanley Cup champions hat, but I have a feeling like for the recaps, I'm gonna be wearing my hat. I'm not a huge fan of how this one fits me and everything like that. So for the recaps, I think I'm gonna be wearing my old hat, and then maybe in here I don't mind wearing this one in here because I got the studio light and I got the ceiling light there, and this kind of gives me a little bit more shade. In fact, maybe I'll stream with this hat. It just no matter what I do, it feels crooked no matter what I do with it. So Petrov says I spent so much in that Kane store. I bet. Hey Trey, how you doing? I didn't get a chance to answer your text. I saw you had a text there, but I didn't get a chance to see it. Trey says, like the streamer, Chucky goes to Ottawa. So what? Chucky for Brady? Is that what we're doing now? Huh? I say we do the 3-way deal. I say somehow we'll get Brady to Florida, Swayman to Ottawa, and Ullmark back to Boston. How are we going to do that? Let's make that happen. Trey says you can answer it here since it's a hockey question. I'm open to all opinions. All right, so let's see. Let's see. You gonna make me put on my glasses in the middle of the live stream? That's okay. These are not my good glasses. My good glasses broke. What's Trey got to say? Fantasy hockey draft tonight in this league. Everyone can keep 5 players, so 60 are already off the board. Top of the board again, Fox, Larkin, Suzuki have the second pick. Am I crazy to take Mitchkov? Because you already have Bedard, so Bedard with Mitchkov together would so it's a keep 'em league. Oh yeah, I would totally do that. I would totally do that. In a keeper league, sure. Yeah, I agree. You might take a bump now, but in 2 years, and maybe even this year, right? But yeah, I would totally do that. I would totally do that. Metal says, I don't know, but I'm sure Tippett would be involved. A 4-team trade. I watched hold on, let me take a drink. I watched low quality. If you're interested in the Swayman situation at all, low quality Bruins fans, definitely he's got a good take on it. Hey, thank you, Trey. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Trey. Yeah, that's the only time in my life I'll get paid for my hockey fantasy advice. So apparently what low quality is saying is that basically the agent is a prick. And I said something to that effect a long time ago. I was like, it sounds like he's getting bad advice. But apparently, what was the other situations? I forget the other 2 guys. Nylander. I think it was one of them was Nylander, and one of them, I forget the second guy. But apparently this agent has a habit of not exactly being honest with the client, with the player, and trying to squeeze more juice than is available out of the squeeze. And so I think that comment from the Bruins of the $64 million was just a way to get a hold. In fact, that's how Nylander was. I think it was Nylander. I think that's how his contract got done, was he stopped talking to the agent and went directly to Nylander. Let me blow this up a little bit so I can see it. Colby says, a lot of people think we will be out in round 1 due to the fact that all the cup winners since 2018 besides Tampa have been out in round 1 following their cup win. Everybody's like, you guys lost a lot. We know what we lost. We know what we lost. Let's be honest. Well, okay. Yeah, Tarasenko, but he wasn't part of the regular team. Okay. Yes, we lost some 4th liners, but let's not forget, Lomberg, Cousins, especially, Cousins kept losing ice time for Lorentz and Okposo because we wanted to be bigger on the 4th line. So yeah, it sucks to not have Lomberg, but I feel good about the guys. Now, defensively, OEL, Montour, but the system we have, as long as we have guys, Kulikov proved it last year, right? Kulikov proved it. All you got to do is just be a good defenseman, and play the system. The system works. Just stick with the structure. Just play with it and play with it. Play within the structure, right? So, Dustin says you're headed to Tampa tonight to catch. Nice. Don't forget that there's going to be like no starters in tonight. It's going to be almost all of the AHL guys, but still go and enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Civil, yeah, I saw your comment at the beginning. So we traded for Sherratt and Petrie. We only had to give up Forsling. No Forslings. No, we're not. He did not look happy to be on the ice the other night. He looked irritated as hell. I wonder if he wasn't feeling well. Trey says we really didn't lose shit. No offense to the guys that are gone. I mean, in terms of our forward group, I don't feel. I mean, Tarasenko is, but you can always pick up a guy like that at the end, right? Defensively, I like what Boquist is bringing. I think Schmidt's going to be just fine. I think Mikkola is going to pick up some of the offensive slack that Montour left. And hopefully Ekblad doesn't try to do too much. Kenneth says, yeah, tough division. Anything is possible. Trey's been a member for 18 months. Thank you, sir. Since we're measuring our member. Ships. Kenneth says, Rangers tank to 8 to get the Panthers to round 1. I mean, I would be shocked. I would be shocked if we, well, you guys know what I predicted. The only way we get knocked out in round 1, in my opinion, is if we got serious injury issues, right? So there's that. Greg says, yeah, the bigger the pie to slice. Yeah, the bigger the slice for the greedy agent. Yeah, but apparently, who was the third guy? Anybody else to watch that video from Low Quality? It was Nylander, but there was somebody else who he had this kind of a situation with. And from what it sounds like, I mean, Boston didn't just say that $64 million comment without having offered $64 million. They're trying to communicate with Swayman. So I'm surprised the guy has any clients. Hey, Icy, how you doing, bud? Ward, if they're going to keep McDaniel, right? So Aviator wants to know if I saw the video from last year, last night. No, I meant to get to it, but it just, Kyle and I weren't in sync in terms of our schedules and everything. So I think we're just going to kind of sit down this weekend when we've got some free time. We've been doing a lot of eBay work, so like a lot of my mornings now, and that's fine. I need to be doing that, but a lot of my morning time is spent on eBay work and everything like that. So our afternoon schedules, I got to do the pack and ship after the podcast and all of that. So sometimes I got to get back into the grind. I got to get back into the grind of things. I'm ready for games. Tomorrow I will have the full NHL season preview / prediction out. If you guys watch my Panthers prediction, you already know. But you only know what I think is going to happen for the Panthers. So I'm going to have the rest of that out. It should be tomorrow. It might be this afternoon. It just depends. Kyle and I were going to start work on the dogs' graves today. We were going to start taking care of some of that stuff, and it's raining again. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Syl says, what do I think about us letting go of Bennett if Giles turns out to be NHL ready at the center position? Well, Maurice's comment about him specifically was he needs to learn to play the position and to be better in the face-off circle. I think it would be a far stretch to say that Maurice would be considering him ready to be at 3C. I think more likely, even talking next year, I would think that more likely that if we can't sign Bennett, I think you would be going Barkov, Lundell, Luosterainen. And then maybe you'd have Giles at 4C. But I mean, I like the way he looks and everything like that but from the way that Maurice is talking, I mean, I guess if he gets a full season at 4C this year, could he be ready for 3C next year? Maybe. Luosterainen did one season at 4 and then moved up to, the wing on line 3, not center. So we'll have to see on that. But we have Bennett insurance with Lundell, but then it's who would be on that third line. All right, I skipped to the bottom here. I missed the bunch here, so let me see what we got to say here. Beer League, hey, how you doing, Beer League? I'm going with the Panthers over the Bruins for the home opener since the Bruins are doomed with all this Swayman drama. Yeah, the Panthers we've done pretty well against Corpusalo too. I think Matthew asked a question. Hold on. Like the streamer, Bennett goes to Toronto. Yeah, Donna says that the Dolphins continued Will Levis meme picture streak when he threw that pick. Yep. What was the question? Matthew had asked, who are the two most improved players? Well, I have a feeling that Lundell is going to take another step this year. Not that I want to lose Sam Bennett, but I have a feeling that by midseason, we're all going to feel pretty comfortable that if we can't sign Bennett, that you could slide Lundell up to 2C. I have a feeling that's going to be one of the guys. Now, call me crazy. Call me crazy. I'm going to knock on wood. But I think that Ekblad, see, Trey is going with Mikula, but I liked him last year. I think Ekblad is going to hit his stride this year with just the right combination of veteran know-how with just enough physical ability left, and it's going to mesh. And I'm not saying he's going to have a Norris type of season, but I think that we will be very pleased with his play this year. I think between the pressure of already having won the Cup, he's learned to be more of a defensive defenseman, and he seems to have a little bit more better hockey IQ and sense of when to pinch and when not to pinch, considering how much offensive defensemen we lost. I have a feeling that we'll be pleased with his play. And don't forget, he's in a contract season. So that will play into it. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to have a kick-ass year. Matthew says Ekblad can't skate or play defense. We'll just see. You asked the question. That's my opinion. Although I don't necessarily disagree with Trey either, right? I know he's hurt all the time, but what's the saying? A broken clock is right twice. I just got a feeling Ekblad's going to have a good year. That's all. I mean, he came back from the injury last year, and did he really miss any time being injured during the season or playoffs? I don't think so. He might have missed a game in the regular season, but when he came back from his injury last year, and maybe it helped that he only played whatever it was, 60 games or whatever. I don't know. But, I mean, he stayed completely healthy all the way through. So, I don't know. That's just my thought. Yeah, E2's not a small guy. Yeah, E2's a big guy. Yep. Silver says Lundell, Kachuk, for a Hagee, was why Swaggy, and we didn't ask, but I think Reinhart and Ekblad will regress the most. I don't know about Reinhart. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think Ekblad's going to regret it. He's in a contract year. I have a feeling that between not having the pressure of, he already won the Cup, and now I don't know. We'll see. If he bombs, I guess it's my fault, right? Yes, Owen Tippett has already been mentioned. Sorry. Yeah, we are. We somehow involved Owen Tippett in a 4-way deal between Ottawa, Boston, Florida, and Philadelphia, where who'd we end up with? Swayman goes to, we got Brady Tkachuk. Yeah, we got Brady Tkachuk, and somehow we got Tippett. I don't know what Philadelphia got. I don't know what they got. If Matthew had his way, they got Ekblad. All right, I can understand what you're saying there, not following up, not getting 57, but maybe only getting 40. So, yeah, I can understand what you're saying. All right, so Eki played in 51 games last year. Right. So, I mean, that might have contributed to why he was able to stay healthy. Right? So, we'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful that, well, we're gonna need him to be good. Let's, we could talk shit about him all we want, but if we want to win the cup again, Ekblad's going to need to be good, right? You can't have a hole there because you already got to trust Mikula to take over for Montour, and you got to trust Schmidt to take over for OEL, Kulikov. You know, Ekblad's going to have an increased role. There's no way around that. So we need him to be good. Yeah, but I see what you're saying about Reinhardt. Yeah, he could score 17 fewer goals and still score more than Barkov ever has. Think about it that way, right? Think about it that way. Trey says Reinhardt, Verhaeghe, and Chucky all hitting 40 would be sweet. Verhaeghe's going to score like 70, man. Verhaeghe's going to score. Remember, he's in a contract season. He's going to have like 60. He's going to get 70. You know, which is okay with me. I just don't know how we're going to afford them. Hey, thank you, Sam Miskevich is skating today without the no contact jersey. All right, so then he'll probably play Friday, right? Okay. Vincent says, from what I see, the love for Boquist and no love for Carlson is so weird to me. Vincent, man, I don't know. There must be something with that kid. There must be something, either lack of hockey. I don't know. He played 40 games for us that year. I don't know what the deal with Carlson is, because he cleared waivers how many times? So like nobody else wanted him either. I don't know if he's bad in the locker room. Does the guy smell? I mean, yeah, he's smallish, but you would have thought that he would have been able to carve out a role for himself somewhere. But I don't know. I just got the feeling like so many times he's been passed over, and with nobody else ever picking him up on waivers, like there's got to be some kind of thing there. I says he's stinky. Is it Saturday or is it Friday? What's today? I think it's okay. So it is Saturday. Why did I think it was Friday? Maybe it was last Friday. Yeah, Saturday. Okay, that's right, because that's the one. Okay. So, all right. So if he plays Saturday, then I guess, yeah, he'll be in that lineup. He'll be in the lineup, right? And then who's going to be at 4C at that point, right? Now, I think George was talking about Boquist was playing some center. Maurice said something about Giles that makes me think he's not going to start the season at 4C. He says he still needs to learn to play the position and get better in the face-off circle. So I have a feeling it's going to be Barkov, Bennett, Lundell, and Boquist to start off at 4C until Nosek comes back. We'll have to see. I think Greer probably starts on that bottom line, and most likely I would think Gadjevich would, but you never know. You never know. What? Who? Oh, okay. We're talking about Bill Belichick smells, right? So Trey says Verhaeghe married Katie's sister, so he has to stay. Nice. I didn't realize that. I did not realize that. He won't go anywhere. He won't go anywhere. Bennett is going to be the one that Zito is going to have to. He's going to have to pick between Bennett and Ekblad. And Ekblad, he'll just start sending Bill like roses and shit. So we have to crap on someone who doesn't deserve it. Yeah, Kyle is still asleep. He woke me up at 4:06 because that's when he went into his bedroom. And I don't know if he had trouble closing his door or what, but him closing the door woke me up. It shouldn't, because his door is not anywhere near where my bed is, and my door is closed, but for whatever reason, he woke me up. So he'll sleep till 1. That's okay. He stays up listing the stuff on eBay. So it is what it is. Salary cap is going up $4 million next year, according to early reports. All right. So between Verhage, Bennett, and Ekblad, you need $4 million in salary extra over what they're making now. So that's pretty easy, right? You give it all to Verhage. You give Verhage like 8.5 or whatever, and then you tell Ekblad to take 4 so you can give Bennett 7. How about that? See, I solved the right there. Just give me the GM's hat. That's how you do it. You give Verhage the 8.5, and then you tell Ekblad to take 4 so you can give Bennett 7. All right, that should work. I'm sure Ekblad will take a huge, massive pay cut. Why wouldn't he? Matthew says, I love Benny, but he'll want 7, and he will not age well. Players that are hurt a lot will only get hurt more as they get older. Yeah. That's a possibility too. I mean, 7 sounds about right. That's what I had actually just jokingly just said, but yeah, it's right. Now, my problem with Bennett wouldn't be so much the 7 million, but it would be, how many years is he going to want? Right? How old is Sam Bennett? Is he going to be 30 when he needs that contract? Let's see. Sam Bennett he's 28, so he'll be 29. Yeah, I mean, 37-year-old Sam Bennett making making 7 million. I don't know. I don't know. Can you get him for 6 years? Will he take 6? Right? Trey says, get Austin Matthews to date Taylor Swift and we'll get a $30 million in new cap to work with. Matthew says, what about letting Ekblad and Bennett walk and sign some other players? Zito is awesome with finding players on the cheap. I mean, that could happen. I don't want to be the guy to say that. I really don't. I would really be surprised. And I'm not saying anything about what I would want or what I think they should do, but in terms of what I think they will do, I really would be surprised if they walk if they let Ekblad walk. I would really be surprised. I think the smart thing to do would be like Bennett 6 by 6.5 metal says. That would be the smart thing. If Ekblad wants to stay and he's going to be like, I'll stay for whatever you guys can afford to give me because I want to stay, I just have a real feeling that in the end, he's going to end up staying. And that's got nothing to do with what I think should happen or any of that. But I just have a hard time. I mean, obviously it can happen. Stamkos is no longer on the Lightning. Right? And maybe if we win again. But I mean, if we win again, they're going to want to go get a third one, right? I says, Jaws should date Taylor Swift so this channel can explode. I'm her dad. That's my daughter's age. How old is Taylor Swift? How old is Taylor Swift? How old is Taylor Swift? She's 34. All right, so it's not my daughter's age. She's still young enough to be my kid, though. I would have had her at 19. And she can. Here's the bottom line with me and women. If you have the physical capability of getting pregnant, I ain't getting anywhere near you. That's like my one rule. It's just like, can you get pregnant? Have a nice day. Nope. I'm not. Even if I had a vasectomy, if you can physically get pregnant, you are out. There's not happening. Matthew says, Jaws too sentimental. I just care about having the best team. I'm not saying that's what they should do, Matthew. I said that's not what they should do. I just think that's what they're going to do, right? Jaws' viewer age would plunge. That's true. That's true. Right. Vincent was saying, look at the Agile Landeskog. What'd you say before that? And we lost the plot here. Bennett is a cornerstone player for this team. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'm not saying I don't disagree with you. It's just, let's put it this way. I don't think that they're going to let Bennett walk and keep Ekblad. I think that they're going to sign Bennett and Verhaeghe, and then Ekblad is going to be willing to take whatever scraps he has to take. So maybe I should have been more clear. I'm not saying I think they're going to choose Ekblad over Bennett, but I think that Ekblad will be willing to, he's going to be thirsty to stay. So, Craig says, biggest missing piece of the Panthers is no guy with the flow hair right now. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in one of the earlier shows. There's nobody with the really long hair. Hey, Frank. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, bud. He says, fun fact for you boys, out of the regulars we lost and the guys we brought in, there's a 20-goal difference. We're going to have to make up for those goals. I'm counting on the Boquists to step up. Don't discount Anton Lundell. You're not wrong. But again, I have a feeling Lundell's going to get closer to maybe 25 this year. I think half of those 20 goals will be Lundell. Remember, I think he only scored like 12 last year or something like that. Or maybe that was his second year. Whatever it was, I think Lundell's going to have an outstanding year. We'll just put it that way. Thank you again, Frank. Thank you, brother. Neuronemic says we will have 27 in cap space. We're in good shape. We're going to have 27? How are we going to have 27 next year? I'm not disagreeing with you. But if we're basically at the cap now, where are we getting 27 next year? What am I missing? Trey says Jenna Ortega is, if we're going to plummet the age bracket, I'm ashamed of how attracted I am to her. Oh, man. Yeah, they posted the lineup for tonight. Not many regulars. Yeah. That's. I think that's kind of what George had been saying too. So, but I think I'll probably watch tonight's game. It's going to be on ESPN Plus. So, I don't know if I'll have a recap up or not because I'm probably going to be working on the season on the complete season preview. Yeah, Frank says the cap is going to go up $4 million next year. Right. I mean, I guess if you're looking at who we don't have signed, if you're looking at all the contracts that will be expired, yeah, I mean, I guess what he could be saying is that when you look at all of the guys that we don't have signed for next year, we'll have $27 million in cap space. But that basically includes like the whole fourth line. That takes out Ekblad's contract. So I kind of see what you're saying. Yeah, Yandel's buyoff comes off, right? He can finally sign with Jaws for the recaps, right? Yeah. On defensively, trying to think of who else. Forsling is signed. Ekblad's not. Mikula is signed. Kulikov is signed. I don't know. So basically the cap goes up for $5 million. Yeah, I mean, if you take away Ekblad, that's 7.5. Bennett's 4.5, so that's 12. Verhaeghe's like 4.5, so that's like 16.5. The extra $4 million that the cap goes up, that's 20, almost 21. Yandles makes it like 22. Dead cap makes it 23, 24. Right? But yeah, no, Depends on what we're going to give for Hagee. If we got 24 in cap and you give for Hagee 9, now you got 15, and you still got to do Bennett. And even if you only give Bennett 6.5, right? Vincent says for Hagee 7, Bennett under 6, and Ekblad 3. How are we going to get for Hagee for 7, though, Vincent? I don't know, man. I mean, you got to figure we'd give him close to what Reinhardt got. It depends, if Verhaeghe goes off this year. Remember, like I always said, Reinhardt was already getting paid 6.5, so he had a little bit of room there to be like, okay, I've already made some money. But Verhaeghe's only got like 4.25 or whatever it is. He's going to want to get paid, and somebody will pay him. I don't. Yeah, Trey says I was going to say 9 for Verhaeghe. Yeah, I think that what Craig says, like 8x8, I think that's like a good. I think if we could get him for that, I think we'd have to feel like, okay, we'd be in good shape. Yeah, we'll just have Ekblad pay us. We'll just give him a minimum, just $775, whatever the veteran minimum is. Oh, I can't imagine why he's got me blocked. I love you, Aaron. I know you watch the show. I know you're watching every day. You're one of those 200 views every day. Vince is saying salary hierarchy. Well, you could still give him 8 and he'd come under Reinhardt, right? But, we don't know what Verhaeghe's going to do. Trey says Verhaeghe's a guy that needs to be paid for what he's done in the past. Normally, I'm against that, but he's more than earned it. Give him 9. I says, give Swaggy a weekly show on this channel, and I can pay him to $7 million. Frank says, if Knight sucks this year, I say trade him, and that's an extra $4.5 million a cap. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't think he's going to suck. From what I've seen so far, I think we're going to be in good shape with him. And I think we'll be happy that we are, because if Bob chooses to retire when his contract is up, we will have successfully gone from Luongo to Bobrovsky to Spencer Knight. And, his play on the ice was never his problem, right? For Spencer, anyway. Boulevard says, I found the perfect trade for you, Jaws, and the Dolphins trade a 5th and a Cubano sandwich for us with cap retain. Oh, man, the poor, stinking, stupid Dolphins. At least we're not the Jaguars. We almost are the Jaguars. We almost lost to the Jaguars. Colin, yeah, Swayman's not signed. I know, man. That's going to be wild how that goes. Salazar says, the last I heard Verhaeghe conversation was around 7, not 8. See, when did you hear that? Because I saw it on Twitter during the beginning of free agency that it was like 8.2. I can't imagine him signing for. I mean, look, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, obviously, but if Verhaeghe takes 7, then we're gold. If Verhaeghe takes 7, you're going to give Bennett less, the same, right? I mean, they're such different players. Tough. But I'd be surprised if he took 7. Neri says $1 million for every 10 points. Swaggy is a $7.5 million guy. What if he gets 70 goals this year? Remember what Reinhardt did in his contract year, right? Did they give bonuses on when he scores those goals? Like $1 million for every 10 points, but like $1.5 million for every 10 points in the third period or overtime, right? Exactly. I says the important thing is to re-sign Kyle to this channel. He'll be around. I'm giving him as much time off as I possibly can right now. Colin, you're not kidding. Can it be opening night already? I'm almost ready. I still just got to do the opening day intro. I got the fight song done, so we're ready to go there. And Well, I already told you guys yesterday. Yeah, Craig says the clutch clause. The clutch clause. It's so true, though, man. It's true with Verhaeghe. So we'll see how it all goes. But if Ekblad stays healthy all year, he's gonna get signed. They're gonna do it. Yeah, Swaggy gets a bonus for every playoff overtime goalie scores. Yeah, that's what was so scary about the Rangers series when they went up on us 2-1. And we lost those 2 overtime games, and you start thinking, oh, okay, I guess the magic is over, right? I mean, we don't lose overtime games, right? Everything broke. Oh my God. And it's true. Everything broke. Everything broke. Oh man. We didn't change the setup, so I'm sure this year at some point I'm going to be jumping up, and it's still the same recliner. So at some point it's broken, but it's not broken. As long as I keep something like a dumbbell or something, as long as I keep something underneath it at the bottom, at the base, I can sit on it and it won't send me flying backwards. But at some point, I'm going to forget and I'm going to go flying backwards, and I hope I do it on camera. If that don't blow up the channel, nothing will. I says, if we don't win it, I hope the Rangers do. You want Trocheck to get a ring. I got to think about that. I got to think about that. If Gallant was still the coach, Frank says Reinhardt set the tone of these team by taking way under the market value, right? I think Swaggy and Benny will do the same unless Verhaeghe scores 40 again. Then we're screwed. He's going to get like 60, 70 goals. I'm telling you. Verhaeghe in a contract here is a scary proposition. Verhaeghe, Bennett, and Ekblad in contract years. It could really turn out well for us, though. Scooch the end of the table away from during the playoffs. Well, it's next to me, so I don't know. I don't know how I could do it. If stuff breaks, stuff breaks. He says he was tripped Jaws. Yeah, I don't have anything against Trocheck. It's just if the Rangers win the cup, it means they either beat us in the conference finals or we didn't even make it to the conference finals. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to die yet. I don't want to die. I want to live again. They got to win another cup. They got to win another cup. Colin says, will we get Swaggy in overtime in the intro? Not this year's different. This one's different. Yeah. So, but it's different every year. Meadow says, we weren't happy when Marchessault got a ring. Ain't that the truth? Don't get me started. If I had $1, Meadow, for all of the years I bitched about Marchessault, and for everybody that said, stop bitching about it. It has no effect over us. It has nothing to do with us. If I had $1 for every time somebody said that it had nothing, that it had no effect over us, I could go to Subway. Well, how much are Subway sandwiches now? Like $15? Cordial Goat Slayer says, good afternoon, Jaws. We making a 3-peat appearance, damn it. Yeah. Let's win the damn thing again. Let's win it. Select, you says you'd rather have your Devils win a ring. They gotta get to that point where they're consistent. I know they had a lot of injuries last year. And like I was saying about the season preview, I almost feel like I should make 2 different videos, because there's the one where Swayman is in Boston and the one where Swayman is not in Boston. Makes a huge difference. Laura says, I wonder if the moment when you absolutely smashed the table and broke the mason jar is going to make the intro. I'm not giving it away. I'm not there. The intro is going to be flexible this year. We'll put it that way. The way that I formatted it, it's a little bit different, but it's going to be flexible with what highlight we can use. So we'll put it that way. Boy, my throat is just like not cooperating today. Is it 10 to 1 already? Jeez. I like these noon things. It goes by quicker with everybody here. Of course, then once the games start, that'll be it'll be a lot easier. You know what I mean? I think we're all pretty much ready. I says my favorite channel moment is when Jaws broke the glass when we beat the Canes. Yeah, that kind of, I can tell this story. It's a short story, don't worry. But I can tell this story now, Eyes, because when I broke that glass, what it reminded me of was the year that I believe it was the year Marino got hurt, and we were 9-2. And Brother Gene had a Dolphins glass, a mug, and he broke the glass, and we didn't win another game the rest of the year. So when I broke that glass, I did not want to tell that story, but I just told that story. Yeah, you broke the glass, you idiot. Yeah, Kyle. Colin says, looks like Sam Miskevich is good to go. That's good. That's good. We need to hear that. Cordial says we're 1-2 in finals appearances over 30 years. Doesn't sound horrible, except that's not once every 10 years. It's been 25 plus years of pain. We need to make it 3-2 in the finals appearances. Go Cats, go. Yeah, they need to get back. They need to get back. They need to win. Trey says as long as Fluffy's bark stays in the intro, it's a new bark. It's just a different video where he barks. But it's not the same bark, but it's still the same bark because it's still Fluffy barking. But yeah, that's not going anywhere. The two things that I'll never take out, other than the dog, the dogs in the snow, they always stay. Kermit going across the screen, that will always stay. And then I found a way this year to leave some stuff in that I kind of thought I was going to cut. Well, you'll understand when you see it. No, it's not AI barking. It's just a different video of him. It's a video of him when he was in the kitchen and a little bit younger. Hey, thank you, Frank. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Frank. He says, my hot take is the Leafs will win the cup. Oh, ooh, damn. Frank, come on. Are you drinking? It's a little early to be drinking, Frank. What? It's a little early to be heavily drinking at night. It's not even 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What kind of substance are you on? Can you imagine that? I mean, they'd have the teams that they would have to get through. I mean, I'd have to give them credit if they did it, right? They got to be either us or Boston or us and Boston or us, Boston, and the Lightning. Then they probably got to beat the Rangers, right? Maybe the Devils, but probably the Rangers again. And then the Western Conference. So, yeah, I don't want to give away my whole season preview just yet. Yeah, Trey having the Leafs winning the President's Trophy. I thought they were going to win the President's Trophy last year. Was it last year or the year before? I forget. But I did peg them to win the President's Trophy. They seem like they'd be that kind of team that would win the President's Trophy, and then we just knock them off, right? iDog says the Leafs finally get to the finals just to get swept. Wouldn't it be more fun if they lost in 7? Wouldn't it be more fun, iDog, if they lost in like 7 and like double overtime to the Oilers, right? Hey, thank you, Eyes. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Eyes. He says the Panthers really need to end this cup drought. We haven't won the cup in 100 days. That's a good point. That's an excellent point. It's unbelievable the disparity now between. I mean, it's going to be a hockey town. Frank says I'm slightly drunk. I mean, now it's going to be a hockey town. It's now or never, right? The Dolphins suck. The Marlins suck. The Heat are kind of, I mean, I know they made the finals a couple years ago, but that was kind of, I don't know if I really want to call it flukish, but it was a little fluky, right? But they did it. You can't take it away from them. But if you want to spend your money on a team that is a winner and is going to be winning, we're it. We are the show in town. Us and the titty bar. That's all you got down there now. I mean, the Dolphins, they're not going to have anybody in the stands by the time they get to the midway point of the season. Stray says at least the Reinhardt scoring drought is over. Yeah, Reinhardt got the only goal the other night against Tampa. iDog says I was bored one day and did the math. The average time since each active NHL team's last cup win is around 19 years. Wow. Well, if we make it 3 times in a row, and then we win it 2 times in a row, that puts us in some rare categories. I was trying to think. There was a video I did over the summer. I forget when it was. But there's only been a few teams that have made it 3 times in a row. Hey, Kyle! Hey, open up the door and just audibly say hello.
Good morning.
They can't hear you. Open up the door.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Kyle. It's fine. It is. What time is it? It is 12:53. Now, let me ask you a question. I don't care, but I was woken up at 4:06 by the sound of a door closing. Was that you, my son? Probably. Okay. All right, go. I'll be done here in a minute. Go. Your shirt's inside out.
No,
it's not. It's made that way.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right, close the door. I'll be out in a minute. All right, Select says at least the Panthers didn't trade away the team when they won the cup, almost like they understood how those. Right. No, well, it's not like when the Marlins did. Jeez, the Marlins. How many fire sales have they had? Right. I mean, I was still a young man when they did that back in '97 when they won, and then they fire sailed the team over the summer. Was it '97 or '98? It was '97, right, when they won. Craig Counsell, Edgar Renteria, and then they just blew it up. I mean, it was just, yeah, it was '97. I can't tell you how depressing that was. And it just sucked because it was like Huizinga said, I'm gonna buy you a championship. And he didn't even give it a chance to see if the fans would come to the, you know what I mean? Like, let's see how season tickets go. Let's see if the fans show up. He just blew it up. Sucked. Yeah, the Dolphins need a fire sale. That's for sure. iDog says, favorite channel moment seeing Josh slowly lose it over the endless overtime games with the Canes. That freaking 4 overtimes. Oh my God. It felt like it was never going to end. Felt like it was a dream. And then we won them both. How beautiful was that? Hey, Frank. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Frank. He says, got to go, boys. I'll be at opening night cutting onions, watching that banner go up. Go Cats. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, brother. Much, much, much appreciated. Colin, yeah, 97 and 2003. The 2003 was like almost kind of on accident. You know what I mean? They just kept winning. Stupid Yankees. I says that fire sale is the reason we had the phrase fire sale as it pertains to sports. That's so true. That was crazy, man. So many, most of the guys, they just never even got a chance to it was just brutal, right? Trey says they should play Sweetness as the banner goes up. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. I've not heard the whole goal song. But then again, like, do you want to mess with the juju? Right? Okay. I mean, like it has nothing to do with nothing, but every year Kyle and I have streamed the Panther games. They make it to the Stanley Cup final. So they finally changed the goal song, and in the first year of the new goal song, they win the cup. You can't go back. You can't go back, right? You just have to accept it for what it is. Yeah. All right, we'll finish it up with the Dolphins. Incorrigible says Stephen Ross needs to sell the Dolphins. His ownership is the problem. Passes on in-state draft talent to pick them up at high dollar after they went elsewhere. Yeah, I mean the whole thing. I wish Ross would just sell the team, or just burn everything else to the ground. Hire somebody that knows football. And even then, it doesn't always work. Like, remember when the Dolphins had Parcells, it didn't work. That whole thing didn't work. So, all right, that's going to do it for today. I got to go rescue Kyle from the shower. Poor kid, 1:00 in the afternoon. Either later on this afternoon or early in the morning tomorrow before noon, I will have the full NHL season preview. I don't like this hat. I'm not a fan of this hat. It's just too clunky. I look like a trucker. Like, it's just no offense to truckers, but it's just like this hat is too big. It's too clunky. I don't like it. But it's the cup hat, so I had to buy the cup hat. So that's what happens. That's what we got. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for all the super chats. And yeah, we're getting close. 1 week. Today's Wednesday, so 1 week yesterday. All right, everybody. Enjoy your day.